Hi friends, it's another week and we are back with another useful tip from dataplatformcentral.com. In this edition, we are going to see a very interesting tip which is related to Power BI paginated reports. Whenever you are working with some ODBC data sources in paginated report, you might come across a scenario where you will be faced with architecture mismatch error. This post is on how you can solve when you come across an architecture mismatch error while working with ODBC data sources inside your Power BI paginated reports. So let's go straight into the demo and see the scenario where such an error can occur, and in such cases what can you do to prevent the error from happening in your paginated reports. For the sake of this demo, let's connect to a local instance of a MySQL server running on my machine, and let's go to a database called load test which is created for this purpose, and it has a single table called retro orders which contains details about some of the orders. So let's try using the data from this table for creating a report inside our Power BI service. So as you see, the table has details of orders placed by multiple users. We'll be using this data to generate a paginated report, and we will be deploying the report to a Power BI service which we have set up. So to start off, let's first start creating a paginated report. As you are probably aware, the tool that we can use for creating paginated reports are Power BI Report Builder. So let's start by launching the Power BI Report Builder tool, and let's create a simple report using the columns that we have inside the retro orders table. So let's go to the start and type Power BI Report Builder and click on the app so as to launch the Power BI Report Builder app. So once the Power BI Report Builder app launches, the next main step is to create a data source. In this case, because we are going to connect to the local MySQL instance, we would require setting up a ODBC DSN. We will be using the ODBC connector available within our paginated report so as to connect to the local MySQL instance. Paginated report, unlike the normal Power BI report, has only a small subset of connectors available within it. So one of those connector is an ODBC connector which is still in the preview stage, and we will be using the ODBC connector to connect to the local MySQL instance that we have set up for this purpose. So let's first go and start creating the ODBC connector. For the purpose of this, we need to first download and install the ODBC connector for the MySQL. So the question here is like, which MySQL ODBC connector will be installed? Will it install the 64-bit or the 32-bit? Now since my OS is 64-bit, the obvious choice that comes to our mind would be the 64-bit ODBC connector. So now let's first install and set up the 64-bit installation, and once you have done the 64-bit installation, then we'll be able to go ahead and create the 64-bit connector. For the sake of this demo, I am skipping the installation part, but you can come to this URL and get your ODBC connectors downloaded for the 64-bit and the 32-bit. So here we have installed the 64-bit after downloading it. Now let's first set up a DSN using the 64-bit connector, and let's use it within our report. So for that purpose, let's go to start and click on ODBC, and you will be provided with the window for creating the ODBC data sources. 64-bit. Make sure you choose the 64-bit because we are going to install the 64-bit. And let's go to the system DSN and just click on add, and we are going to add a MySQL ODBC connector. So I will be going to select MySQL ODBC ANSI driver because that is the driver which will help us in creating the connector. Click on finish, and automatically you will be provided with a window to create a new connector. Just give the connector a name like local MySQL instance 64-bit, and the TCP IP server will be localhost 127.0.0.1, and let's keep the default port 3306. The username would be root. For this demo I am using the root user. In the actual case, we will automatically create an additional user. Root user should not be used for any of these purposes. And then let's key in the password as well. After entering the password, let's click on test to test the connection. and the connection is successful. We can go and select the database as well, the Lotus database, and click on OK. So now we have created the DSN, local my instance 64-bit DSN, and let's click on OK. And so now we have created the ODBC DSN for 64-bit, and now let's come back to the report and try adding the DSN. So let's choose a table or matrix wizard for creating the report, and the first step will be to choose a dataset. So we'll click the create a dataset because we are going to create a new dataset. Click on next, and for creating the data source, let's click on new because we are going to create the data source for the first time. And here it's selecting SQL Server by default. We need to change it to ODBC because we are going to create an ODBC data source. Now click on build, and automatically it will give you the pop-up window where you can select the system data source name. Here when you check, you can see that you will not be able to see the DSN that we created now. So this is where the first problem comes. We are not able to select the DSN. If you see, the issue is because what we have created is a 64-bit DSN, whereas this application, the Power BI Report Builder application, is a 32-bit application. So you will not be able to see any of the 64-bit DSNs that we have created here. So that comes us to the second part. So now because we couldn't get a 64-bit DSN to work correctly, now we need to download and install the 32-bit DSN. So I have done both the installations. Assuming you have done your installation for the 32-bit, let's again go back and create a ODBC data source, but this time for the 32 bits. To make sure that you are using the 32-bit DSN, you need to open the ODBC data sources with 32-bit option, and then click on add. Again the same type of steps you need to follow. You need to go and find out the MySQL ANSI driver and click on finish. Again you can give it like say local instance, and here you can give it like 32-bit to indicate that it's a 32-bit connector, and again for the server you can give it like 127.1, which is your localhost. User will be root and password will be your password. Again click on test, and once the connection is successful, we can select the Lotus database and click on OK, and again click on OK. So now we have created a new DSN which is of 32-bit, and we have named it like local instance 32-bit. Now if you come back and refresh this and see, you will be able to see the local instance 32-bit DSN. So keep in mind that only the system DSNs which are created using the 32-bit option will be available inside your Power BI Report Builder application. This is because the Report Builder itself is a 32-bit application. So now that you have selected that, you can click on test connection once again. Once the test connection is connected, you can click on OK, click on OK again to close the window, click on next, and now comes the place where you have to select the table. So here we have the table called retro orders, so you can just put a simple select statement and just click on execute, and it will automatically fill the data into your data set, and you can click on next, and now it gives you the option to select which all data should be used for grouping. So here what I am going to do is like I am going to use the acquired month as the row group. You can drag and drop it, and for the column group you can use emirate, and for the values you can choose any of the values. So I am going to choose order reference, and I am going to make it count of orders, and if you want you can also take the subtotal and you can make it sub of subtotal, which is correct. Say let's also take the discount. So we have added 3 data fields here and 1 column group and a row group, and click on next, and automatically it will format it into a nice little matrix for you. And if you want to show the subtotals and grand totals, you can keep it selected, or if you can unselect it, it will only show the detailed data. So let's just retain the subtotals and our totals, and just click on next and click on finish. So now the report is now ready. If you want, you can add a header to the report as well, like emirate order details, and click on run for a test run of the report, and you will be able to see the data nicely shown in your report in a matrix format. Basically it does the pivoting of data based on the column and the row groups that you have selected in the wizard. So as you see, it gives it in a nice little matrix format and with the total in the end. Of course you can add more design to it. You can add some border inside that so as to identify each of those columns. So you have the option to add a border here, so you can add border here, and you can make it the headers central aligned to make it more appealing, and once you run it again, you will be able to see it in a nice little matrix format. So now that you got the report here, now it's the time to publish. So you can go back to the design and there is an option to publish the report. So when you click on publish, it will ask you to sign into a Power BI service. You can use one of your existing Power BI accounts to log into this. Make sure that whatever account you are using here, it has a premium workspace inside that, because you can only publish your paginated reports to premium workspaces. So let's give a username. Once you log in, it will show you all the workspaces and you can see that there is a premium workspace inside. I am going to put it inside this. So you can give any file name. I am just going to name it like MySQL order report and click on publish, and it will get published inside your service, and it's published to their service. Now if you go back and check in the Power BI service, you will be able to see this report. We have logged into the Power BI service using the same account, and now if you go inside that DF test workspace, you will be able to see this. This is the report that we have published, MySQL order report. Now before you run this report from the service, you need to make sure that you are attaching a data gateway connection to this, because the MySQL instance is in your own local machine. You need to set up a data gateway so that the Power BI service can connect to the ODBC DSN that you have set in your machine, and it can execute the report. Now if you try to run this report now, you will be getting an error because the data gateway is not set up. As you see, it shows that it could not connect to the data source because the data source is residing within your local machine. It's a local DSN that you have created, which will point to the MySQL instance, which is also inside your local machine. So now you need to set up a data gateway for this purpose. Once you have set up the data gateway, now you can log into the data gateway using the same ID that you used for logging to your Power BI service. Now we have set up the data gateway using the same credentials. Now that the data gateway is set up, now we can use this data gateway to connect to the Power BI service and execute the report that we have just published. For this, just go to the workspace, and for the report we have an option to manage. Go to manage option, and here it will automatically identify your data gateway, and it will show that it's not configured correctly because you need to enter the credentials. So click on that actions, and you need to first add it to the gateway. So you can click on add to gateway, and in that it will ask you to enter the credentials. So you need to enter the same credentials which you have set up inside your MySQL. So here you need to use the basic option itself, but the username should be the root username and the password is what you set up inside, and you can click on add. So if your credential is successful, it will get added. So again you got an error here. Now let's see what is the error that you are getting here. When you click on show details, you can see that the error again says about unable to connect to the data source identifier. If you compare this error message to the error that we got while we ran this locally, you can see that the same error happened locally when we didn't have the 64-bit DSN identified inside our application. So here the same issue is happening, but in the opposite side. Power BI service is a 64-bit based service. Here we are using a 32-bit based DSN which we have used locally and trying to deploy the report, and because of the architecture mismatch between the Power BI service as well as our 32-bit application, it is throwing this error. So now what is the solution? For getting this DSN to work correctly inside Power BI service, we need to use a 64-bit DSN. But we have already found that the 64-bit DSN will not work correctly locally. So then what is the solution? What we can do is, while doing the local development, we can use a 32-bit DSN, and before deploying it to the service, we need to change it to the corresponding 62-bit DSN. Since it is not possible through the UI, what you need to do is like you can just create the DSN, and just before you deploy the project to the service, you can just go to the data source properties and change the connection string manually to make it point to the 64-bit DSN. Now let's see how we can do that. So we have the application here, and if you see the data source, it is currently pointing to the 32-bit DSN that we have created. Now we need to check what was the 64-bit DSN that we created in our system. For that, just click on ODBC, and we need to click on the 64-bit ODBC sources here, and if you see, the name of the local instance that we created was local MySQL instance 64-bit. Copy that name, and before you deploy it, you need to paste it inside your data source properties. So here, instead of local instance 32-bit, you need to paste it here. and click on OK. This has to be done just before you deploy it. You can't do it while you are trying to test it locally, because the local application will only work with the 32-bit version of your ODBC DSN. So just before, after doing all your changes, testing everything, just before you deploy it, change it to point to the 64-bit DSN. Go to File and click on Publish, and then once it comes up, click on to your workspace. Click on the report and it will ask you to replace it. You can give on X so that the original report will get replaced with this new version. Now if you go back and check in the service, your new report should point to the 64-bit version of the DSN and it should work properly. So let's go to the workspace again and click on the report and go to Manage, and here if you see, it will automatically give you the option to connect to the particular data source. So all you need to do is, like, if you want, you can add a new data source. If the data source is already there, you can just map it to the corresponding data source and click on Apply. So it's automatically mapped once you create it, assuming that you have already created the 64-bit credentials inside your Power BI service. You can just map it to the corresponding source. So once this is done, now if you come back and run the report will work correctly. As you see, the report has now successfully executed and you can see the data in your Power BI service. So as seen, what we have done here is that before we deploy the report, we just change the DSN to point to the corresponding 64-bit DSN so that the Power BI service can pick it up and work correctly. While working locally, you need to make sure that you are always pointing to the 32-bit. Now if you go back to the application, it is still pointing to the 64-bit. Now if you try to execute the application locally, it will not work and it will just throw you an error telling that there is an architecture mismatch. So the specified DSN contains an architecture mismatch between the driver and the application. This is because currently the application is pointing to the 64-bit DSN, which it can't execute locally. So for testing locally, you have to again go back to the data source and click on Build, and you can select the 32-bit data source from within this and click on Test Connection and then execute the report. Now it will work fine. As you see, it's working fine with the 32-bit. So this is the way you need to do it. While doing locally, use the 32-bit version of the ODBC DSN, and just before deploying, just change it to point to the 64-bit DSN so that it works both in PBS service as well as on your local machine. Hope this quick demo showed you how you can use the ODBC DSNs inside your PageNator report, and how, based on the environment where you are using it, you can flip between the 32-bit versus the 64-bit version of the ODBC connector. So since Power BI Report Builder is a local application which is of 32-bit, you need to be using 32-bit version of the ODBC DSN by using locally, and after all your testings are done, just before deploying to the service, you need to change the connection string to point it to the corresponding 64-bit ODBC DSN, and both the DSNs has to be created beforehand for the report to work properly inside locally as well as inside your Power BI service. And of course it will require setting up a data gateway, because the instance as well as the ODBC DSN is created inside your local machine. As usual, keep sending your feedback and let me know your comments, and feel free to follow my video for getting useful tips like this. Click on bell icon to get the notification and subscribe for getting such videos in future. Thank you all for your time. Meet you soon with another useful tip. Till then, bye.